he said he likes getting up and going to work every single day. And I think that it's a fortunate individual, man or woman, who can do that. And I think you have to apply that to whatever you do. It doesn't matter what you do, you know, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a retailer, or an electrician, you know, do the best you can at it. And I think that can bring a degree, if not more than a degree of satisfaction. You know, what I do now, well, thank you. My name is David Goldman, and I am in the retail fashion business here in Vancouver. I operate 4 stores called BoysCo. BoysCo is a division of our family company that is over 70 years old. The BoysCo division's approaching 33 years old. Started in the Oak Ridge Center in 1984. As a single multi-brand store and evolved into the 4 locations we have now. And we are a multi-brand store that buys product that sells in the medium to higher ranges. One form of dressing today that a lot of fashion people like is what's referred to as high-low. They can mix expensive and not expensive pieces because it's not so much what you spend on a piece, it's the eye you have for the pieces you've chosen. So you can go to a store like mine and buy something, you know, call it a $300 shirt and wear it with a pair of jeans maybe that could cost you $40 at another store. And that $40 pair of jeans has the right wash, the right fit, the right look. And no one needs to know what you spend, it's how you as an individual pull it off. And so what we do is that we dress people, we dress them not just to earn a living and feed our families, but to make people feel better about themselves. Because when you think about it, the average person that comes in our store doesn't need another shirt or another pair of pants. It's something they want, it's something that they desire, it's something that they feel that they want to look good wearing. And it's I think it's an important part of what people do, you know, presenting themselves well, whether it's going to work or their day-to-day lives, perhaps going on a date, what have you. I was born in Vancouver to parents who I was very lucky to have. We had a great upbringing here. My mom was born here too. My dad grew up in Montreal. And when he came out here in the 1940s, he decided it was a great place to live. So he had met my mom, moved his family from Montreal, and he didn't have a lot of education, but he had the ability to sell. So the genesis of this company was him working at the Hudson's Bay for a couple of years, selling menswear and thinking he could do it better. So he opened up a store on his own in 1946, and that was the beginning of this same company over 70 years ago. So I'm someone who grew up in this industry and had the good fortune to learn at literally the feet of my father, working part-time as a kid in high school from age 14 and up. Having a little bit of a formal education in marketing and merchandising, as well as working in other shops in Montreal and London, England, and then coming back and basically making a career out of this. And so we are now a 3-generation company. My oldest son, Sam, who's 40, works with me. And when my dad was healthy and working in this office, we had 3 generations working together at one time. So I think you can talk about the business as being a big part of who I am and what I do, but I think family is also, if not as, it's more important to really create the glue to do what we do, to be part of this community, to have the support of friends and community to help build a business and sustain something that is now multi-generational. It's a good thing. How we do it is with the support of a lot of people. We've been blessed with having a lot of long-term employees in this company. So how we do it is exactly with the help of them. I have a general manager, his name is Michael Rowley. He's been with our company 31 years. he's a workhorse, and he just gets the job done. It becomes instinctive. It becomes instinctive for all of us because it's what we do. People will say to me, how do you know what's going to sell next season? Well, we don't, but we do because things evolve on a daily basis. Brands evolve from season to season. Our knowledge of the industry evolves every single day. If I'm not in a showroom or looking at a brand online or looking at other stores or watching how people dress, I'm trolling the internet, looking at brands. I mean, seeing what people wore to the Met Ball in New York City on last Monday night and things of that. And it all registers, so you see a theme, you see how a brand is painting the picture of what they want to show next, and it's based on all the things that are going on. It could be influences from their previous season, the music that's going on, TV shows. There's themes, and it evolves very nicely. So I do it with the help of a lot of people. We have store managers, all of whom have been with us for literally over 20 years. And then your lifestyle, what I do personally, helps me deal with the responsibilities of running a business, the responsibilities of having over 60 people work with us, and trying to create an environment for them to be happy in, so that they themselves can have those wonderful lives here in Vancouver. I mean, it's a real plus. So the things that I do that keep me sane is traveling, and when I travel for business, I try and tie in a personal side to it, whether it's going out for dinner with friends or taking an extra couple days off wherever I may be. It could be New York, it could be Italy, it could be London. We get to go to those centers from time to time and look at product and visit industry people. So I could be out for dinner with a friend, but he could be a guy who runs a company and I've known him for so many years. So we'll talk personally, we'll talk about the business, who's doing what and what have you, and ultimately you're updating your skills at what you do every day just by exposing yourself to just walking out in the street or do whatever you do. It's having an eye out. What I do personally to keep myself mentally fit is go to the gym as much as possible, a couple times a week minimum, hop on a bike once or twice a week, and especially in the nice weather that we occasionally get in Vancouver, and things of that nature. Why I do what I do is, and it's real easy to sum that up, it's fun. It's still fun. It's always been fun. It's fashion, and I've often said, it's not rocket science. We're not trying to solve world peace or anything. We just want to have these wonderful stores that can sell clothes successfully, that tax our brain, that allow us to be creative, and that is a wonderful outlet for us. I mean, maybe if I didn't do this, I'd be in another creative field, and while I can play guitar and piano and paint something on a canvas, and I don't do any of them very well, this is my outlet. This is what I do every day. This is what, when I'm looking at brands on the internet or in fashion showrooms, that's my practice, and then when we become proficient enough to choose the right things for our store, I've never actually used this metaphor, but that's the show, that's the final act of what we do. And we get to do it again every single season. In fact, we get to do it again every day, because these days all the seasons are blending together, and you can see new product every day. You can have the ability to buy new product every day, and that's really how it is becoming, buy now, wear now. And even the designers are doing that themselves. They'll put out a fashion show and it's available the next day. We're getting in the habit of doing that more often, so our customers can see fresh looks more often. They demand it because they're seeing them wherever they go anyway, so they should be seeing it from us too. That's just adapting to new ways of doing business. It's important to have fun because it will come out in the results of what you do. I learned that from my father. People would ask him what is some of the reasons for the success he had, and he said he likes getting up and going to work every single day. And I think that it's a fortunate individual, man or woman, who can do that. And I think you have to apply that to whatever you do. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a retailer, or an electrician, do the best you can at it. And I think that can bring a degree, if not more than a degree, of satisfaction. We're not always successful. We have bad years in business. We have bad seasons. We have bad months. We continue to and will. But if you can weather that storm, and hopefully it's a small, short storm, you're going to take the skills you've had and a strong mental ability and get yourself out of these what I'll call economic jams, because we all have them in every business. We can all have a slow period, and in the case of some people starting a new business, you have to build something, and it doesn't go as quickly or smoothly as you might like. But if you give it the best effort, ask the right questions, and do your research and due diligence, like we have to do every single day. Just because we've been around a long time doesn't mean we're going to be successful. So to be able to love what you do makes a huge difference. If it starts to get a little bit more tedious than you would otherwise, maybe it's time to think about either an exit strategy, which I think is the last thing you want to do for an ongoing business. There's always, you'd like to think there's hope to continue on, but yeah, after so many years, not everybody wants to continue doing what they do. If someone said to me, do you think you'll ever retire? No is the answer to that, because you want to be keeping busy, and I think you have to maintain the vibrancy that it takes to work in whatever business or activity you're doing. And in this business, more important than anything is the relationships you build up with people. Whether they're your suppliers, they become friends, people you do business with on a day-to-day basis, the calls you get, the email you answer, things of that nature. So you do that. What style means in my profession and what it means to me is probably the same answer. It's an individual's comfort level, it's an individual's taste level. And people can copy style, people can develop their own style, but in either way, and we do copy. I'll look at a picture of a guy in a fashion magazine and say, okay, so I have that jacket, and I have that shirt, and I have that pant, and I've never worn them together, and I can do that, and I'll put it on, and if I can pull it off, great. Regardless of whether you copy it or devise it yourself, own it. Be confident. Buy the clothes that help you feel confident. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, that's what clothes can do for you. Appropriate to who you are, appropriate to your age, appropriate to your environment, where you're going. If you're going to a fancy dinner, you want to dress one way. If you're going to watch your kid's baseball game, you're going to dress another way. And more than anything, I always say there's no rules. There's way less rules for sure, but there really isn't, because if you want to wear a tuxedo with running shoes, you've seen that. That's not even a big deal. Is it appropriate for this particular event you're going to? Maybe not. So you got to pick your spots. Well, that would be my father in no uncertain terms, and the lesson is respect. And it's respect for your peers. It's respect for the people you do business with. It's something as a lot of people don't give as much thought to as I would like, as showing up for an appointment on time. Someone's giving you their time, or trying to sell you a product, or you're meeting somebody, or what have you. But again, it goes back to respect. And I think that you can flip it around and go self-respect too. I think that in life you have to carry yourself off in a certain way, and if you're respectful of others, you're going to have a lot of self-respect yourself. It's not easy sometimes. Not all of us have great days. Not all of us are happy all the time, but I think self-respect is something that gives you the opportunity to carry yourself through life in a way that allows you to treat others. It's real simple. It's the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Do we all live that way? Absolutely not. And should more people? For sure. When the last chapter is written, you see that a lot, and we don't want to be sitting around writing our epitaphs and things like that. But I've gone to enough funerals in my time to hear eulogies, a lot of eulogies. I've given eulogies, and ultimately, what you want people to say about you is that you may have touched a lot of people in a positive way. And that can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. It could have been professionally, and it could have been personally. Professionally would be my shops. People came in, they liked the environment, they felt good leaving. It created a positive influence on them. It gave someone a great opportunity to put themselves in their best foot forward. And conversely, personally, we cross paths with a lot of people in our lives, and you just want to be a good person. And so I would say that last chapter would be something that allowed me to be seen in a positive way, in a positive light, and in a respectful manner. It's really simple when you think about it. I'm not out to conquer the world. I just want to be able to feed my family and create good personal relationships, business and personal relationships. So it could be something as simple as that, and that would be plenty. The importance of being a man in today's society can take on a lot of shapes and forms, but I think when you say man, I hear gentleman, and I think today there's not enough gentlemen out there. And what does a gentleman mean? It's someone who's polite, someone who, in my case, we want them to dress appropriately, and be of the time. Be the man that you're required to be today. It could be being a responsible business person. It could mean being a great father. It could mean being someone who just carries himself off where people might look to them for a little bit of input or advice. And I think, we started this conversation talking about family. I think that being a man today is someone who steps up for their family. My dad stepped up for his family. He taught me lessons that allowed me to be able to do that. And sometimes you take things for granted. You can do that. A man, a woman, whoever, we take things for granted. But I think a man today should acknowledge that one must step up for their community and their family and take on the responsibilities that one must in the business life, but all of those things. And to me, that's who a man is.